one of the questions I get a lot is, you pulled my credit. Why is it different than the credit monitoring score? So we've got Andrew here, who is the owner and founder of Heartland Credit Restoration, to help answer this question for us.
Credit monitoring is a soft pull, okay? You can look at your credits, become very popular. And then you've got on the other side is hard pulling, okay? Which is typically a FICO credit score. Most people have heard that. What's my FICO score? What's my FICO score? So what happened is when credit monitoring became very popular in the last 5-6 years, it's an access, right? So it's an opportunity for you and me, the average consumer, to look at our credit to get a sense of what it looks like. The problem is that we look at those credit scores and we start thinking, I think I'm a 700 because that's what it tells me on Credit Karma. The problem is that most of the credit monitoring sites are not wanting to pay FICO that's taking and computing the data into the physical credit digits known as your credit score. When we were in elementary school, we have, centimeters, we have millimeters, we have inches. But if we really don't know, if we're going to measure a foot and one kid's using inches, one kid's using millimeters, one kid's using centimeters, we're going to have very different end-all be-all numbers, and that they're a slightly different metric of measuring, okay? Even though they might come to the same distance of 1 foot, 30 centimeters is 12 inches, but 30 and 12 sound very different. So when you're looking at your credit monitoring scores, you're using a similar data that's what it pulls, say, at a banker level, that's maybe going to pull your credit to determine if you can qualify for a mortgage, but they're not using the same algorithm to compute. So you might think you're a 700 credit score, but in fact, you're actually a little bit lower because that metric that's being used is different. So it's really important to understand, first of all, what's the metric being used, monitoring. It's not a true FICO score. Don't be real surprised that the difference is a little bit more significant. There are FICO-based credit monitoring scores available that'll get a little bit closer, but just most people are going to have to realize you have to pay a little more for those. A little better data, a little more detail, a little bit more cost. But that's your answer. It's all about the metric that's being used to compute the same data.
Yep, perfect, awesome. Thanks so much, Andrew. We'll see you guys all in the next video here.